But when you look at our plan and how clean it is, what I love about it is you literally can go all the way to diamond, folks, by literally just taking those three levels and just replicating them over and over again, okay? Now, let's specifically highlight, okay, the executive and the silver ranks in the company. Then we're going to come back and we're going to highlight diamond. Gene, I want you to go to the first page of that document, if you will, to the three-step process that we have inside here. All right, so let's specifically get focused in on these ranks right here, okay? Executive, silver, and diamond. Executive, 1,000 points, right? Bronze, silver, 10,000. And diamond, 150, okay? All right, so the whole point, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to realize. There's two things I want you to know. Number one, the number one purpose of a comp plan in the direct sales business is to drive or to create activity and behavior. In other words, what I mean by that is the number one reason for the comp plan should be to train you as a distributor. Because if you are having to do your business differently than what the compensation plan rewards, that's a little bit funky, right? The comp plan, if it's done correctly, should basically pay you for doing the exact steps that you need to do to ultimately be successful. And that's the beauty of the 360 comp plan or career path. When you look at our plan, every piece of it fits together like a jigsaw puzzle, okay? So the philosophy of our comp plan is really very simple. We take people to 360 Star, that's what we created, the payout, that's why we give. You ever asked, why do you give 5% of your company away to brand new people? That's the reason, was to create such a massive carrot that it would cause people to go for the goal of getting Star, as opposed to what most network marketing companies do, which is they use the stick. You guys know the difference in the carrot versus the stick, okay? The carrot is when you put the carrot in front of the horse. You ever see the dog race? They put the little animal out there and they just spin it around the track and the dogs are all chasing the animal, okay? That's kind of what our comp plan is like. It puts the carrot out there for a new person to pursue. A lot of companies have comp plans that they kind of whip you into behavior. Hey, Jimmy, you better do this, or whack, or we're going to take away your bonuses. Like, I won't name the company. It starts with an O and ends with a D. But they have this thing where you have to sponsor a certain number of people. Okay, you have to sponsor a certain number, but that's not good enough. Your people then have to sponsor them too. So now Vita goes out and does her job. She brings in her 3. But then they say, well, no, Vita, that's not enough. You did your part, but no, that doesn't count. Your 3 now have to go sponsor their 2. So now Vita's trying to call up people, and, come on, man, you got to get your 2. And what does that make Vita? Makes her a manager. Does that make sense? Makes her away from being a leader. And now, so what she's doing, she's like, no, to heck with it. She goes out and she sponsors him on, and she just gives him on away to one of her 3 people. Just trying to fill the gap. Or she's buying that person's auto ship that next. It's just, that is so stupid. And here's the thing, it's not like the company doesn't know what's going on. It's happening to thousands of people, right? The company's like, well, if 1,000 people buy an extra $100 a month, that's extra $100,000 in sales. I don't believe in that, guys. To me, that's just foolish. Does that make sense? Let's just make this thing clean. Let's reward this thing. If you earn the rank, you earn the rank. And if the company don't want to pay it, don't put it in your comp plan. Does that make sense? Right. So that's just the way we roll. And just kind of
He's right beside.
Now, okay, we'll leave it. Okay. All right. So basically, guys, we put this in place. So the philosophy of that star, okay, is to create that instant drive, that instant motivation to find out who your players are. Now, guys, I got to tell you, you're not going to find every person that you bring into the company go to star.
Okay.
It's just not going to happen. Okay, you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? Yeah. Pareto principle? That's going to exist here as well. So basically it says that about 1 out of 4 that you bring on board are really going to be ready to get started right away. The beauty of the STAR program is that it really finds those individuals for you, because here's the deal. We're going to give away 5% of our company every week. Would you like to get a piece of it or not? Yes or no? Yeah. If you want to get a piece of it, go get your 3 your first month. If you don't, no sweat, no big deal. So it allows you as a leader to kind of have them identify themselves. They'll say, let the cream rise to the top, so that you're not sitting there stirring. Maybe there's cream in there. Maybe there's cream. No, you're just putting more milk in the bottle. Just put the milk in and stir it. All you're doing is leading. You're not managing. You're just leading and leading and leading. See, I learned a long time ago, it's funny, when you try to manage, it doesn't change anything. You know, if you're, well, I'm going to make them successful, that's a bad philosophy. You know, when you say, no, let me just, here's go do it, and I'm going to go find the next person.
Right.
You know, and here's what's wild. The right people, they'll actually follow you and they'll do it anyway. Right.
Yeah.
Like your players, even without a lot of help and a lot of hands-on, they just do it. That's because they're the right person. The wrong person's not going to be they're going to be the wrong person no matter what you try to do. Right. That old saying, you know, you put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, right? So if they're not right, they're just not right. And so instead of focusing on that, it allows you to just continue moving forward. And then, of course, the beauty of the STAR program, right, is it helps you build out something we call the 2020 plan that we'll train on more in leadership. It helps you bite that off one chunk at a time, just by 3 people at a time, because you have to continue getting 3 more in order to get shares. People ask, why do you have to do that? Remember, the number one goal of the comp plan is to what? To train you. So the beauty of the STAR program, the reality is that even though you only need 3 people to go to the top of our plan, the odds of that happening are next to 0.
That's right.
1 in a million, okay? The reality is you're probably going to have to sponsor, okay, about 4 people for every 1 player. That's just the number, okay? It's not good, it's not bad, there's nothing wrong with 360, there's nothing wrong with you. That's just math, okay? Because of the 80-20 rule. And so as a result of the STAR program, what it helps you do is it helps you continue. If you go up to the top of the page, Virginia, it helps you to really get focused here, guys. And then it helps you to, again, by getting the recognition, by getting the 5% revenue pool access, those different, all the recognition that comes with it, that sort of thing. That is all included there with your 360 STAR program. So we build this in, we focus on the win training, which is what's important now. Not that there's not important stuff later. When you're first getting started, there's not a whole lot to worry about. We just need to get you to start. So it creates a singularity of focus. It creates a simple, duplicatable model, right, for everyone to be able to follow. So that's why and that's how I convinced the company to put so much money up front. Because you have to understand, whether there's 1 star this week, okay, or 1,000, they're still going to give away the same 5%, right? And so it's a huge investment by the company. But I just knew that if we could put the money on the front end, most companies put it on the back end. And the back end money is important as well. But you know, give me some love here. Kind of like, let me nibble this thing off and taste some success, and then I can move forward and realize that, hey, if I can do that, I can do this. If I can do that, I can do this, and I can replicate. So what we did here, guys, is we put a program in place to really keep this thing very simple. When you look on your win sheet, you've got a way for you to be able to basically go down on the points all the way to STAR, a place for you to check off. I have my PV, I have my personals, and I have my 1,000 PSV, personally sponsored volume. In your back office, this exact same diagram is there in a dynamic form. When you first log in, it says everything right there for you. Here's how far you are from STAR, etc. So that's all there for you guys, okay? Now, here's the thing. You only need how many executives in order to make silver? You go executive, you're creating 1,000 points, and then you just need how many more? 9 more. So ideally, okay, plus 9, right? You and 9 other stars makes you a silver. Does that make sense? So if you join the company and you go star, and you help 9 other people make star, you're going to make silver, okay? 9 times out of 10. But we said, folks, when you involve people and you bring the 80-20 rule in, etc., it's really not going to work that way. So what Romacio has created, and for the sake of time, I'll just share this. I'll have you help me here real quick. Is basically a formula that through practical exercise over the last 45 days, and all the silvers and golds and such that they turn, here's what the numbers really come out to. Mas is personally, in order to make silver, here's your formula. If you want to write this down, we're going to show you how to structure this in a second. Mas, how many people do we need to sponsor to make silver? 12. 12, okay. So 12 personals, and help 4 of them become stars. 4 stars. See, what I like about this formula, that Mas, thank you for putting this together. What I love about this is you're putting the onus on who? On you. So you're putting the responsibility of turning silver not on other people. You're not having to make the next person go out and do something for you to hit it. You sponsor 12 yourself, right? Out of those 12, what Romacio was saying is, look, you're going to find 4 people that want to build this thing, and that's probably a pretty accurate number. So you go get your 12 first. You don't go, well, let me go sponsor 4 and see if they're the right ones, and then I'll go get 4 more. No. You blitz your way to 12 people as fast as you possibly can. Like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, etc. And at that point in time, you'll find which one of those 12, right, are serious. And at that point in time, we'll go get into their business, and together with launch calls and happy hours, etc., and working the zones and the projects, we'll help those people turn star as well, okay? So the point, ladies and gentlemen, is step one, obviously, is getting yourself to executive. You'll go executive just by getting your 12. And the next step is to very quickly identify 4 people that want to go star. If you'll do this based on averages, that's not including all leader packs or anything like that, because you're going to have some builders, you're going to have some basics. Matter of fact, what did you guys use as an average BV level on that house, roughly?
300.
Okay, so that's at about a 300 BV average. And as you guys know, you're going to have some people do leader packs, 600 points. You're going to have some people do executive plans, which can be up to 1,600 points, okay? And such, you're going to have some people do basics at 80 points. Some people do builders. You can see on your screen what the point values are. But what Romacio is using here is a 300 BV average, and turn right around, help 4 people do that, and bam, you yourself are going to make silver. So, Mas, any other comments on this that you'd like to share?
No, that's it.
Okay.
They want to know how many people silver is. You can track that as well. It's on silver is 25 to 30 people in your organization.
Okay.
Again, if you sponsor 12 and you help 4 get 3, 12 plus 12 is 24. The silver is 25 to 30 people. That's $10,000. Everybody understand? Yes. You sponsor 12. You sponsor 12 people. You sponsor 12 people. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Help 4 of the 12 become a star. Get their 3.
Right.
So 4 times 3 is what?
12,
Plus the 12 you sponsor is what?
24.
It's 24. I just told you a silver is 25 to 30 total people. Okay? And you're going to make a minimum, track that too, of $3,000 as a silver. Minimum. That works.
So the point is, how many of you guys would like to make 3K in the next week, 2 weeks, 30 days? Okay, the answer is everybody, right? So thank you, Mas, for putting this together, guys. Very, very simple. Now, here's the great thing about it, right? All you have to do in order to hit diamond is help 15 people, right? Replicate that same process, and guess what? You're a diamond. So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, this whole thing, I'm telling you right now, the beauty of 360. It starts obviously with the chocolate, but then it rolls into the career path, and it rolls into how we do what we do. The beauty of our platform is that it is so simple, okay? It just comes down, honestly, to who wants it, who sees the vision, and who is willing to put in the work, okay? Now, the best part about it, you might say, yeah, you guys focus all this time on recruiting. And guys, we do focus all this time on recruiting. Why? Because that's how we get to our customers. Again, how many customers are we looking for people to pick up?
3.
That's it, folks. At 3 customers, we put on millions upon millions upon millions of consumers all over the world. Of course, the beauty of it is a lot of people are going to pick up a lot more than 3. They're going to get 5, they're going to get 10, they're going to get 15. Now, as we move forward, okay, you'll see the company focus more and more on the customers. Why? Because the downline is getting larger and larger and larger. Right now, that's not the focus of, it's not the season, if you will, of 360. Right now, listen, here's where we are, okay? 360 is all about something right now called the land grab. The land grab, okay? The land grab means this. The University of Oklahoma football team is called the Sooner, okay? And the name comes from basically when the Oklahoma Territory was opened up, they basically lined everybody up on the border, okay, what was going to be the territory, and they fired the gun and they said, go. And basically, you were able to basically grab any plot of land that you could make it to first. Okay, it was what's called a land grab. What is happening at 360 right now, guys, it is a land grab. It is about who wants to own what markets. Does that make sense? Who wants to own Sacramento? Who wants to own San Francisco? Who wants to own Oakland? Who wants to own Baltimore and DC? Who wants to own LA? Who wants to own this market or that market or San Juan, right? You know, that sort of thing. So who wants to own these markets? Okay, so the way that the business grows in this stage, the concentration stage that we often talk about, is it doesn't grow vertical. The way the business grows right now is horizontal, okay? So the point, ladies and gentlemen, is don't worry. Here's what I say to you. At this point in time, be aware of how much of the detail that you allow yourself to get consumed with, okay? Right now, the stage that we are in as a company is massive action. Why? Because it's first mover advantage. Does that make sense? Listen, guys, with all things being equal, here's what I can promise you, okay? The person who launches a city, who launches a market, is the exact same person that owns that city or market 5, 10, 20 years later. Okay? So instead of getting wrapped up in too much level of detail, let's focus on the main thing right now, which is what? Grabbing the space, grabbing the land, okay? In other words, getting the recruiting started, getting the process moving forward. So I want you to understand that's the reason why we spend so much of our time teaching you guys how to recruit, how to hit the rank, okay, for that particular purpose. Because listen, there will be plenty of time, trust me, for a lot of these other details. But you have to understand, because can everybody understand this? If you take a look at, let's just use Moss as an example, okay? Can you understand how right now it would be extremely difficult for someone to catch Romacio and build a bigger team in Sacramento? Is that fair? Why? Because it's him and how many? 70 to 100 leaders, right? There's 600 people, 70 to 100 leaders that are in the company right now, okay? So that person would have to move pretty fast and gain a whole lot of ground. Or take a look at what Suzanne has been doing in Nebraska. The reason Suzanne's been laying it down in Nebraska like she has is she understands that once she gets the foothold, if you will, okay, doesn't mean other leaders won't come in and have great business there, but it just means that the majority of that market 10 years from now is where? In her team, does that make sense? And that's why she's been spending weeks at a time getting ready. She's leaving back out Monday to go back out to Nebraska, okay? The beauty of it is Nebraska doesn't stay in Nebraska. It goes from Omaha to Des Moines, and from Des Moines to Kansas City. Does that make sense? And before you know it, folks, that's what's so crazy, is you'll have markets where you're the predominant leader in that particular market, and you've never even been there. You've never been there, right? We were talking about this, joking about it in our previous company. We had a huge group in Reno and Lake Tahoe. I've still never been in Reno and Lake Tahoe, right? And then that group came out of a group in West Texas. So it was a group in West Texas that knew somebody in New Mexico, that knew somebody in California, but it was because we focused in a magnifying glass held in the sun. We held it there, and held it there, and held it there, and held it there, and before you know it, bam, it just exploded like popcorn. You kind of get popcorn, put the microphone, nothing happens, and it's cooking and cooking. All of a sudden, next thing there's a pop, then there's a pop, then there's a pop, and before you know it, it's bam, 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 bam. And that's what happens in this business sometimes. Is you're just focused on your rank, you're focused on hitting your target, moving forward, etc. Okay. Now, quick piece of wisdom just comes to mind here. I want to share with you. There's a very good likelihood, okay, that as you move from one rank to the next, to the next, to the next, there's a very good likelihood you'll work with a predominantly different group in between each rank. So that again, there's a very good likelihood that the people you're working with on your run to silver are going to be a different group than you're going to run with on your way to gold. And the people you run with to gold are going to be a different group than you run with to platinum. That's completely normal. There's some of you in this room right now, I won't use names, that's what's happening. You will serve a group of people that you work with to make this first rank. But now it's going to take a new or different group, so to speak, that you're going to have to run with to make the next rank. That is completely and totally normal. It's the way it works, okay? And it happens that way, by the way, for all of us. So to be aware of that and understand that's just kind of how the chocolate cookie crumbles, okay? Ooh, chocolate cookies, that's going to be a great product. Think about that one right there. Oreos, man, healthy Oreos. Okay, all right. Pretty exciting stuff, okay? So this is the layout here. Now, what I want to do here is we're going to start moving, getting real practical, okay? We're going to start shifting gears into how do we do this, okay? How do we do this? The beauty of the 360 comp plan, okay, is that we do not require a certain structure of how that 10,000 points to go silver has got to come. So silver's the goal, right? We know that's 10,000 points. Romacio just told us that we know for a fact that to do that, you're going to have 12 personals, and you're going to help, 4 of those people go star, okay? 25 to 30 total people. Here's the beauty of it, right? Put 25 to 30 right here. The beauty of the 360 plan, most comp plans would say this. This is you in your binary structure. In order to get that, you have to have a total of 12 over here, and you have to have 12 over here. That's how most comp plans are designed. Okay, it's kind of an older school idea. This is one of those ideas when you ask companies that do that why they do it, they say, I don't really know, we just do it that way because it's the way it's always been done. Honestly, that's just kind of how it's done. We don't do that at 360. At 360, we do not care, okay, in the comp plan where your 25 to 30 people fall. It makes no difference to us whatsoever where the people are going to come in. Okay? Do you have, excuse me one second, do you guys have the IFS breakdown? Now, I'm asking these guys to pull up the IFS document because that's where you're going to see this fits together. When we were building out and writing the career path, at the same time that we were writing out the bonuses, we were also writing out the map of how the bonuses would be earned. We were also writing out the map of how a distributor was going to do what it took to get to the bonuses, okay? Because equally as important as what you're being paid is what the ranks are to get to the payment. Does that make sense? Like lifestyle bonus at silver, blessing bonus at bronze. Why do we do that? Well, we did a blessing bonus at bronze versus putting a blessing bonus at platinum. Does that make sense? Okay? The next, though, and the most important next component is the requirements for turning rank. So you got the bonus, what you're going to earn, then you got the rank associated with that, but then the most important thing is what are the requirements to turn that rank, if that makes sense. Okay? So what we wanted to do on the requirements here is we wanted to make it very simple and very easy. Okay? So the 360 career path says this. You can actually go silver in any leg. Don't even look at that screen right now, just focus right here. You can turn silver by putting in that $10,000 of ETV, right, which is going to come from 25 to 30 people. You can do that anywhere in your entire business. In other words, it doesn't matter if you have 20 over here and 25 over here. It doesn't matter if you have 5 over here, 25 over here, okay? As long as you have below you 10,000 points of volume that come from either you or the people you've personally sponsored, it's connected to you directly in the genealogy. As long as you generate that 10,000 points here within 30 days, and by the way, it doesn't even have to be in the same month. You could have 2 weeks in one month and 2 weeks in the other. 2 weeks at the end of November, 2 weeks at the beginning of December, and you can still turn rank. So it doesn't even have to all happen in December. I think that's crazy as well. Okay? I can get into a soapbox on that one. So what does that mean? If you wanted to, it means you could focus all of your energy and effort, and you could put all 25 to 30 people down one leg versus putting them into different legs. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, let me ask you a question. Is it more motivating or less motivating to a prospect to know they're going to join into a big and very active leg? Like if you said, listen, I'm going to bring you into the business, we're going to get you started, but Angela, I'm going to put you to a leg reverse and nobody's joining, okay? There's really very little happening over there, it's kind of dead, but I'm going to put you in and let you be the one that makes the spark, okay? Probably not going to happen. You heard of that? You ever heard people complain about getting stuck into a weak leg, right? Well, a lot of people do that because normally the comp plan says, yeah, you got to have 10,000, but you got to have at least 5 over here, right? Or you got to personally sponsor, you got to personally sponsor, 3 or 4 people, but you got to have 2 on this side and you got to put 2 on this side. So the company forces you to put 2 of your personals, and if it's really bad, then they tell you that those 2 have to sponsor 2. One on their left and one on their right. That's really okay. Got to inject a little humor in there. Okay, does that make sense? 360 doesn't do that. They don't care where the people fall. If you want to put them all down that side, put them all down that side. If you want, put them all down this side. So can everybody conceptually see that, just conceptually, we're going to unpack this for you, but can everybody see that if we were to take all 25 to 30 people that we know we're going to have to get, can everybody see how if we were to put them all down one side, it would be an opportunity for leverage?
Yes.
Right? Because you could say, listen, I'm getting ready to put 25 to 30 people straight down this leg. Okay? Somebody's got to go at the top. Would you like for it to be you? Okay? I'm not even going into our waiting room yet. We're going to unpack that. We're going to unpack the IFS on this. You're going to see how this is a well-oiled machine, the most incredible comp plan ever in the history of network marketing, guys, without a doubt, okay? All right, so we know that as long as we create the 10,000 points, that's going to be 25 to 30 enrollments, okay? And by the way, let me just say this. All of your volume counts toward rank. So all of your auto ships, all of your 3 for frees, all of that volume, if it's enrollment tree, it all counts. We're just using a new business of someone who's launching that wants to go silver because you guys are all here. Okay, many of you have only been involved for a week, some 2 weeks, some 3, some 4, etc. Okay? So that's the process, guys. That's how it's going to work. Now, this creates an additional opportunity for leverage here. Because let's just say, for example, that it's me and you. And I'm your sponsor, okay? And I joined the company and you're one of the first people that I sponsor. If I'm going to run for silver and you're going to run for silver, we have a bigger opportunity for leverage. Does you guys see that?
Right.
Yes.
Because I don't have to put any of my people over here if I don't want to. If I want to, I'm able to take all of my 25 to 30 and I'm able to also place them straight down this leg right here, okay? From this point, right, all the way down to what would be a total of, it has to be a total of 50 to 60, right? If 2 people are going for silver within the same leg. Do you guys see that? So let me ask you a question. Would it be easier or harder to recruit someone based on the fact that they're going to have 25 people in their business, or would it be better to recruit them based on the fact that they're going to have 50?
50.
The bigger the number, the bigger the what? Okay? The bigger the leverage, okay? It's, guys, it's what people always call, it's called the depth ratio. In other words, it's how deep is that point going to go, the leading edge of the leg, the business. The deeper that it's going to go, the more opportunity for leverage. And we haven't even brought the waiting room in yet. We'll do that in just a moment. So that would mean that if I picked the phone up and I called you, and I said, listen, my partner and I, or me and you, if I picked the phone up and called Mom and said, hey, Mom, my partner and I are getting ready to put 50 to 60 people into the business, I wanted to reach out to you first and let you have a chance to see the opportunity first and to take the top position. That would be compelling. It would be leverage. Does that make sense? So that's pretty good. But let's take it to the next level. What if Suzanne was also in the picture? Okay? If Suzanne's wanting to go silver, and I want to go silver, and you're wanting to go silver, we're each going to have to put 25 to 30 in our enrollment tree. Guess what that means? Now all of a sudden that leg is going to go, right? Would be what? Greater than or equal to or something like 90 people. Okay? Or something around 90 folks. That leg is going to go deep. So would it be easier or harder to recruit somebody based on 90 levels going below 25?
Easier.
Does that make sense? Now, guys, this example I can unpack to 10, 20, 30, 50 people. Well, let me ask you a question. How many of you guys in this room want to go silver? Okay. Take a look around the room. Hands up. Okay. What if, okay, the majority of us were all driving down one side to make the ring? Does that make sense? Okay? Let me ask you a question. How much money in the binary, if you and Suzanne and Stephen, if we all sponsor down this one leg, that's probably going to be our biggest leg. Is that fair?
Right.
Because we haven't even started the inside yet.
Right.
So how much binary income, which is a major component of the binary comp plan, how much our income would we be able to earn in that process? Okay? How many of you guys are fired up about turning rank but not making a dime? Anybody excited about that? So says I am. I'll do it, right? Hey, it would be worth doing because it would be worth sacrificing a little bit now to have a much bigger payoff. But what if I told you in 360 we designed a little component to our comp plan? This is probably the most brilliant attribute of a comp plan ever created, called the IFS. Okay? Or as the Italians call it, the EFS. EFS. Okay. All right. That's what she's on the page right here. Now, guys, I'm not here. I want to do a whole IFS training on it because it takes time. But I want you to get, and for purposes of this discussion, I want you to get this part. Okay? Let me see that real quick, please. Thank you, Jim. All right. What the IFS says is this. When you hit executive, which is this code right here, okay, you earn up to $20, okay, per package that enters into your executive code. So let's use this. I'm going to slide this back just for a moment. Can you guys see that screen if I do this?
Yes.
Or is that blocking it for you? You guys see it? Okay. All right, check it out. On my first 3 people that I personally sponsor, how many am I going to recruit to get to go silver in most cases?
12.
So on my first 3 that I put in, they're going to fall into my member code. Okay, my first 3 go right here, right? Oh. Okay, my first 3, it's kind of coming out crazy on your screen. But my first 3 are going to fall in my member code. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Do I make any money on my member code in the IFS? No. You don't make it on the member code, you make it starting in the executive code, right? Which is also 360 star. So let's just assume that I get my builder leader that makes me an executive. What that means is the next 3 people that I bring on board, number 4, 5, and 6, on my way to 12, okay? So these right here are member. The next 3, if let's just say you sponsor them here, are executive. Now the beautiful thing about it is, guys, on the executive code, you make up to $20 per pack to infinity. This is so awesome. Every time I show this, I'm like, this is brilliant. You guys ever seen the Guinness commercial? Brilliant! Right? This is brilliant! I love it. This is awesome. Okay? We did an amazing job on this comp plan. We knew it was going to be good, but it just gets sweeter, man. All right, so you earn up to $20 from these 3 people, okay? And anyone that ever joins below these 3 people in your executive code to infinity. Now, $20 doesn't sound like very much, does it? But it's $60. What do you do? I mean, $60. Anybody have a calculator? Okay. Let's just watch what happens as we start duplication just in the executive code. Okay. Now remember, okay, in most binary comp plans, how much would you make out of this strong side right here? 0. Okay. Even if they allowed you to turn rank, you wouldn't make a dime. So they don't do that because that doesn't make sense. Okay? Because you made silver, but you made no money. You know, I'm a silver, I'm a gold, I'm a platinum. How much you make? $200. Now I made diamond, what you make? $200. Okay? That wouldn't make much sense. Okay? Well, I'm a diamond, how much do you make? $64,000. Now you have my attention. Okay? So now I want you guys to pull out your calculator for me. Who can tell me if you go 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, 9 levels deep? Who knows the math or who knows the number that's in the presentation of how many people it is? 29,523 if you go 3 by 3 by, well, it's right there, I'm sorry. Okay, it's right there. 29,000, see, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. Okay, so what's 29,523 times $20? 580,000. Okay, thank you, James. 580,000 on what? On the executive code, right? $20. Okay? You guys now see how that $20 starts to add up? Okay, well guess what? That's just the executive code. Okay? Now, how many are you going to have to sponsor to go silver? 12. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Bronze. Bronze is up to $50 per pack to infinity. From those 3 people that are in your bronze code down to infinity. What's 29,523 times 50?
A lot of money.
James, that's your cue. Go ahead, James. 1.45, Dave, is that right? $1.45 billion. Okay. On $50 just out of your bronze code. That's not bad. So you just picked up $2 million by going what? 9 levels deep, then you started your inside leg yet. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, don't forget that we're not done. We got to go at how more to go silver on average? 3 more. Okay. And so, boom. What's 105 times 29,523, James? 3 million. And some change. Plus the 1.5, plus the 500. Does that make sense? So you see, guys, our whole comp plan fits together like a Rubik's Cube. It's not just the 360 star by itself. It's the 360 star added onto the simple duplication of 1 leg rank all the way down to diamond. It's the 1 leg rank added on top of the silver sprint. It's the silver sprint added on top of the infinity fast start, which allows you to actually make money in the strong leg, literally for the first time in network marketing, the first time in binary history, you're able to make money in your strong leg. So, what do we teach? We teach something called the silver sprint. The silver sprint. What is the silver sprint? The silver sprint is an initiative in your first 30 days, or in a new member's first 30 days, to work alongside with their upline and to use the power of the one-leg brain option, okay, which allows you to drive one leg, to coordinate what is called a project with those that are above you. There's that term you guys have been hearing, right? Project 500, Project 1000. What this is designed to do is to allow you and your upline to coordinate with one another, to drive the legs together to create more leverage to help people turn silver faster. Does that make sense? That's all that it's designed to do. And here's the brilliant part of it. Okay? The brilliant part of it is this. When you turn silver, which, we want to help you do it within 30 days, preferably within 7 days or so, okay, what's going to happen? Now you pop silver. Now you're earning how much IFS?
105.
105 to infinity. Does that make sense? Not bad. Well, guess what? At that point in time, we're going to have you start your inside leg. Okay? What are you going to do when you start your inside leg? You're going to go silver all over again. Okay? You're going to personally sponsor how many people?
25.
Total of 12. Okay? 12 sponsored. What's 12 times 3 by 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 $105? A lot. Okay? Millions. But something else happens when you kick in on this side. You actually begin earning what? Dual team of up to 20% of LSV or weak side volume. So now on this leg you're making 105. Okay, plus you're making 120 on every leader pack. So in other words, a total of $225 on every single leader pack to where?
Infinity.
Infinity, okay? Until you hit gold. And then this goes from 105 to 150, right? For a total of 270. Where?
To infinity.
To infinity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole plan is what? Go 360 starting yesterday. Does that make sense? Next step, with your upline, you work a project where you're coordinating and communicating with one another to create the leverage for everybody to fire down that leg to go what? Silver. Okay, how soon? Within 30 days, right? Preferably a week to get it done so that we can do what? So that we can pop your inside leg right here. And now we begin picking up silver IFS of 17%. Okay, and we then pick up 20%. See what that says, 17%? That stands for strong side volume. The 37% stands for lesser side. What does that mean? Well, we know we make 20% lesser side volume. So if you add 17 to 20, it equals what? Okay, so the whole play is to drive one leg to silver, okay? Pop the inside leg, use the two legs to hit diamond, and then the beautiful thing about it at diamond is you make 37% SSV, strong side volume at diamond, and so now you drive back into your strong leg where it's project multiple thousands every month. Okay? If I called you and said, listen, I'm getting ready to put 3,000 people in the business, why don't you join me? I'll put them below. Is there anybody you know that say no to that for 12.99? No. Nobody. You could be a fool. Does that make sense? Right. So now so what am I getting to? I'm trying to, as I know, here's the thing. I'm sharing a lot of information with you, but if you look at everything we're sharing, it all fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. In other words, it's one step that plugs into the next step, that plugs into the next step, that plugs into the next step, and they all fit together like a glove. There's no independent parts moving here on their own. Every component that I'm sharing with you is fitting in right next to the next component over and over again. Does that make sense? Okay? All right, so we're going to come back. We didn't touch the waiting room yet. That's like pouring nitrous in a Ferrari's engine. Okay?
Right.
All right. So that's the play, guys. That's the plan. All right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the waiting room. And then let's talk about the executive plan. Well, let you forget about that. So, let's talk executive plan first before we talk waiting room. What's an E-plan? How many of you guys started with an E-plan? Let's show hands. Number 3. I like what Richard said. He says, we have, what did you say? A culture of E-plans. Okay. Yeah. Richard has an unfair advantage.